In today's video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Scarlet and Violet set of Obsidian Flames to see just how good of an investment it would make. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the top 10 singles for the set in terms of value. We're going to look at their trends, their values trends over the past 10 or so months, I would say, since it's released, 8 months, however long it's been. Could have been a year by now, but I think it's been around 10 months. We're going to see their highs and lows in terms of their prices. We're also going to see where they were 1 year ago and where it is today. And we're going to take a look at the same set of data for sealed product. We're going to take a look at around 7 different sealed products for this set and just see what we should hold on to, if anything. So let's go ahead and take a look right now.
So the very first card we're going to take a look at today, and the 10th most valuable for Obsidian Flames, is the Pidgey Illustration Rare. So again, we kind of have this very interesting looking artwork. It's almost like coloring book style artwork where it's very blocky. There's not a lot of depth and dimension to the colorings and shadings, but it is some really nice artwork nevertheless. So we have a bunch of Pidgeys here, a root sign. Route 1, it's a nice throwback to Gen 1 Pokemon games. So we have the values here. We have as far back as July 24th, which I guess is around 11 or so months ago. And it had a high of $11.79. So that is its high. It's probably around pre-release / release though, so that's why a little bit of inflation there. And then it does drop down July 31st, $7.52. August 7th, it goes back up to $10.23, but ultimately trends downwards. It looks like its low is probably around here on March 18th, $2.87, and its current value is $4.16. If I had to make a prediction as to where this card might go, I wouldn't quite say that it's moving anywhere just yet. I think it'll be a while for a lot of the singles in this set to really have significant movement. Maybe within the next couple of years, it'll probably go up to maybe around the $7 mark, but I don't see it going that much higher. Alright, number 9 on this list is the Charizard EX double rare card. So this is just the terastallized version of Charizard over here. Very playable card, I think, for the TCG. I'm not exactly sure. Or it's just highly sought after because it's Charizard, but not much to tell for it. I mean, you have Charizard here peeking out of the card frame. Yeah, not really much to detail in terms of how unique it is, but we have a value here July 24th, $25.97. Shortly thereafter, on August 7th, was its high at $31.79, and ever since then it has slowly draped downwards, and it looks like right now it's at its low of $4.46. I don't really see this card moving up in value that much over the next couple years either. Might be around might make it up to $7 as well, would be my guess, but I think it's going to take a while before we get there. Number 8 on this list is the Cleffa Illustration Rare. It's actually a really nice artwork. This was one of my first pulls. I think it was my very first big pull from this set, and I remember when I got this card, I was actually pretty happy with it. It's a really beautiful card. The artwork is fantastic. You have Cleffa over here in the center, really demonstrating that pulling the focus, and then you have some nice foreground and background here with some symmetry. It's actually a very beautiful card. July 24th, $12.46 was its high, and then it does drop down pretty drastically. It does go through some fluctuations. It looks like probably around here or so. February 12th would be its low at $4.17. Goes back up a little bit, and right now it's sitting at $6.76. I mean, I think all the illustration rares are fantastic. I think they have a lot of potential, but I think they can be pulled pretty frequently for Scarlet and Violet sets, so it's a little tricky in terms of rarity as to how far these might go. I can kind of see probably a $10 future within the next couple of years. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Then number 7 on this list, we have the Pidgeot EX Ultra Rare, aka the full art card. So yeah, it's a full art card of Pidgeot. It's a nice card. I mean, it's pretty standard as far as full art cards go, where they have a pretty monochromatic-ish background, nothing too crazy going on, or maybe not monochromatic is the right word, but there's kind of a color scheme to it with some general patterns. So in this one we have streaks with blue and green and light kind of grays and stuff, and then yeah, we have Pidgeot in the foreground. Nothing too crazy to rave about, but July 24th, $9.99. Shortly thereafter was its high on August 7th of $10.55. And then it looks like its low is probably over here on November 13th at $3.97. and its current value is $7.84. I mean, I don't necessarily know what the future holds for full art cards. They're not as highly sought after as, say, illustration rares, but I don't know. I think $10 is pretty reasonable for this card if it were to go up in the future. I don't think it'll be a near future increase, though. Again, I think with Obsidian Flames, a lot of the singles, I think we'll kind of see them increase in value as Obsidian Flames kind of becomes more obscure to find on shelves. Number 6 on this list is the Pidgeot EX double rare. So again, it's just a regular EX card. It's not even terrestrialized either, so pretty interesting on that. We have the Pidgeot soaring through the air. It is a normal type, and then yeah, I guess it's like for details, there's leaves or something of the sorts flying around the borders of the card. It is a nice card, but it is a standard double rare, right? There's nothing too crazy to rave about the artwork for. So 1 year ago, or July 24th, I should say, it had a value of $7.68. I believe this would be its high on August 7th of $10.16. Let's see. Actually, sorry, May 20th was its high at $10.37. Not a crazy difference. And then over here on December 4th, $4.81 was its low. It's currently going for $8.26. I mean, it's tough. I imagine this card has playability for the TCG, and I think once it gets phased out, its value will actually go down. So if anything, this card is probably at its peak for pricing. I hope I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I genuinely don't think that this card is this expensive due to its collectability and rarity, though. It's probably due to the TCG, and I think, yeah, it could. There's potential in the future, high potential for it to drop a lot in value once it gets phased out of the TCG. Number 5 on this list is the Charizard EX full art card, but it's the full art terrestrialized card. So there's definitely a little bit more character and rarity to it. With these cards, it kind of has that crystal mosaic almost pattern that you would see in certain glasses. It's very nice artwork. The patterns are done very well on this Charizard over here. All of the full art terrestrialized cards kind of have the same look to them, so yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy to rave about for the artwork here, but isn't nevertheless some great artwork. So on July 31st, it had a value of $29.65. Shortly thereafter, on August 7th, was its high at $36.18, and then ever since then, it does ultimately drop down. I mean, it spikes here, as you can see, on September 18th, but then continues to drop down, where it looks like its low was pretty recently on April 15th at $8.13, and its current value is $8.38. I do see this card having potential to go higher than $10. I would probably call maybe $15 in a couple of years. I don't know if I see it going much higher than that. I mean, it could. It's a Charizard card, right? Charizard will always impress you with the value it comes to, but I'm going to call $15 within the next couple of years, I think would be a safe bet. Number 4 on this list, and honestly, one of my favorite cards from the set is the Ninetales illustration rare. This picture on TCG Player really doesn't do it justice. The lighting that is actually portrayed in the artwork is fantastic. Just that center lighting on Ninetales in this kind of mystical forest is fantastic. The colors are amazing. These light greens and these dull yellows, it's honestly fantastic. One of my favorite artworks from this set. So July 24th was its high at $21.67. And then since then, it does have a pretty drastic drop off. I mean, as you can see, it ultimately slopes downwards, but it does kind of do some waves up and down. If I had to guess, its low is likely over here on April 8th at $5.58. And its current value is $8.54. Like I said, illustration rares are a little tough with predicting where they might go. I mean, Ninetales as a Pokemon is relatively popular as it is in OG 151, but yeah, in terms of where this card could go, I'm gonna probably say maybe around I think in the far future, I actually think it has a lot of potential to potentially do. That's funny, I use potential a lot, but I would probably say around, I think it could reach the $20 mark. I know that might be a bit of a bold claim. I think in years to come, I don't think it'll happen next month or within the year, but I think a realistic would be $12 within the coming couple of months to the year. I could honestly see that happening, but I would also say probably around $20 would be its peak. But I do think this card has a lot of potential. Then number 3 on this list, we have the Pidgeot EX Special Illustration Rare card. So I think this is our first SIR, which is impressive. I'm surprised None of the trainer SIRs are on this list, but I guess that's just how it is, right? In terms of Obsidian Flames. But we have the Pidgeot EX SIR. If you remember the Pidgey card, it's kind of that coloring book, very blocky, not a lot of shading, not a lot of depth to it. It has its own charm for sure. Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of it. The artwork is a little too simplified for my tastes. Without sounding like an art snob or anything like that, it just has to do with the way, I don't know, there's no depth of color. I don't know, I really like for example, the Ninetales, right? The lighting is fantastic, just the depth, the realism in quotations, obviously, but it was just so prevalent with the Ninetales. And I digress. But July 24th, $24.26, and ultimately does trend downward. It looks like its lows on November 13th at $7.21, and yeah, its high was on July 24th, and then it looks like its current value is sitting at $11.83. I think this card does have potential to go higher in value. I will say, even though I'm not a fan of its artwork, I think that might be one of its stronger suits, in the sense that it's more of a unique card. I mean, we see a lot of Ninetales or style of Ninetales artwork for the the Scarlet and Violet era, but we don't really see a lot of this Pidgeot EX kind of coloring book, blocky, one color fits all style. So that is something very interesting to note. But in terms of value, probably $15 is where I can see it going up to. And then if this card's lucky in the next couple of years, it could be $20/$25. But we'll see. I mean, when the Scarlet and Violet era comes to an end, and people inevitably, including myself, start snagging more SIRs because we're getting FOMO, or we realize how good the artwork actually is, this card could actually have a pretty big surgence in its price. So we'll keep that in mind. Alright, the second most valuable card in Obsidian Flames is the Charizard EX Hyper Rare card, aka the gold card. Essentially, it's the exact same artwork as the full art terastallized card, except it is gold, obviously. So it adds that much more rarity. It's a lot more difficult to pull. You'd be lucky if you got this in a booster box, right? I mean, honestly, same thing with that Charizard terastallized card, but yeah, nevertheless, it is a very difficult card to pull. 1 year ago, or not 1 year ago, July 24th, had a value of $113.92. My. And then July 31st drops down to $39.84. And then it does dip down more, but it kind of coasts around the $25 mark, fluctuating. And then, it continues to decrease though. Whereas right now it sits at $19.70. And I do believe this card will go back up in value. It just needs some time for Obsidian Flames to become more old and obscure. I can see $30 being hit pretty easily. Maybe a bit of a bold call. I could see this card honestly going up to the $50 mark in years to come, just because it's a Charizard with a lot of rarity. I could totally see it hitting pretty high standards, but this is years to come. Maybe 50 is a little bold. 40 I think would be a better statement, but yeah, I think $40 would be it could honestly be pretty achievable for this card. And the number one most valuable card from Obsidian Flames is the Charizard EX SIR, the Special Illustration Rare. What a fall from grace this card has had. I talked about it in a previous video, but I mean, look at the artwork. It is nice. It's very reflective of the other artworks that we've seen. It's just, it looks more illustrated, almost more sketched, if that makes sense. Like, it looks like this card was sketched out. It is really nice artwork. Not my favorite artwork, not my favorite Charizard artwork, but it is really nice. I think if the artwork was a little better, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna just imagine I didn't even say that, but I think it is fantastic artwork. I don't think it's as good as the other artworks for Charizard, and maybe that has to do with its price. We'll leave it at that, but essentially 1 year ago, July 31st, had a value of $225.99 on July 24th, and then July 31st, $103.66, which is insane. What a drop off. And then it just continued to drop downwards. I mean, it went as low as $43.88, and then it looks like its current value is $45.42. But yeah, I think this card, its issue is that because it's the sole chase card from Obsidian Flames, I think everybody was just none the wiser to purchase this single, as opposed to going out and buying so many packs to try and pull this Charizard. And yeah, I think just with the foresight of buying the Charizard itself, or even the foresight of over pulling the Charizard, one of the two, I think it just tanked its price because there's probably so many on the market right now. So what will happen with this Charizard? It is tough to tell. I mean, as time goes on, this Charizard card will likely go up in value. I mean, I think it's realistic to see it going up to like even $70 in a couple of years, but I think $60 within the moderate future is a pretty it's a pretty generous, or not generous, but it could definitely happen for sure.
All right, so those were the top 10 most valuable singles for Obsidian Flames. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at 7 sealed products and their values as well. Let's go ahead and take a look right now.
All right, starting with the least valuable sealed product, we have the Obsidian Flames Sleeved Booster Pack. It's just a booster pack that comes in cardboard, essentially, so you have a little more protection and security and peace of mind when purchasing a loose pack. But yeah, I mean, we have data going back as far as January 15th of this year, which is relatively interesting, I would say. So yeah, $3.68 January 15th of this year, and then pretty much just does go down. Ultimately, it spikes up a little bit April 29th, and then continues to drop $2.91 on the Obsidian Flames Sleeve Booster Pack. Then for the Obsidian Flames 3-pack blister, which is the next most valuable seal, or sorry, I shouldn't even say most valuable, because we're not really going by value. I think we're just kind of going by different varieties of Obsidian Flames sealed product. Strictly Obsidian Flames, though, we're not really doing like tins that have a mixed match of, say, Paldea Evolved and Scarlet and Violet base. But June 12th, we have $19.92 as its high, and then it ultimately does trend downwards where it hits its low probably around here. October 30th, $10.87, but it does go back up a little bit. It looks like it's stagnant now at $12.46. Next up, we have the Obsidian Flames Build and Battle Box. So this comes with 4 Pokemon TCG booster packs of Obsidian Flames, and then it has 1 of 4 unique foil promo cards, which accompanies a 40 card ready-to-play deck. So pretty interesting. June 29th, its high is $29.52. And then, yeah, after June 26th, it ultimately trends downwards, where it hit its low here on October 9th, $13.14. And it looks like it might be heading downwards slightly from its current value of $15.41. Coming up next, we have the Booster Bundle. So the Booster Bundle comes with 6 packs, and only 6 packs, so you don't really get a lot of other fluff or trinkets and game pieces with it, which is kind of nice if you're solely looking to rip packs or just collect products that only have packs in it. June 29th, $29.78 is its high. It does trend downwards after that, and then, yeah, ultimately hits its low probably around here. October 16th, $18.44. Does trend upwards a little bit, and it looks like right now it's at $21.97, and it's probably going to stagnate around there from the looks of it. All right, coming up next, we have the Obsidian Flames ETB. So this comes with 9 booster packs, as well as 1 full art foil promo card featuring Charmander. It's a really nice promo card. It might be one of the most expensive promo cards for the Scarlet and Violet era as of right now, I think, at least coming from an ETB. So that is pretty cool. But we have a value June 5th, $59.85 is its high, and then ultimately it does trend downwards from there, hitting its low over here on October 23rd, $29.78. And it looks like it could be stagnating, maybe even going up slightly, but likely stagnating at $37.04. And then just for fun, we're going to take a look at the Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETB, which we don't really have a... there's no description here, but I do know it off the top of my head. Essentially, yeah, you order it from the Pokemon Center, so it is exclusive. Comes with 11 packs instead of 9, so you get 2 extra packs from the other ETB, instead from the other ETB, which only comes with 9, and then you get 2 promo cards. One is the regular Charmander that you do get in the original ETB, but this one also comes with another Charmander that has the Pokemon Center stamp on it. So I believe that Pokemon Center stamped Charmander, that might be the most expensive promo card for this era of Pokemon. I'm not entirely sure though. If you do know down below, that'd be pretty cool. But June 19th, $194.92. That's pretty wicked. That's probably that Charmander working its magic there, and then it does trend downwards a bit. July 24th, $182.08, and then look at that, just a fall from grace, $87.47, and then does go back up a little bit August 21st, $93.68, but ultimately trends downwards, and right now it's sitting at $66.78, and it looks like that's probably where it's going to sit for a little bit, as it looks like it's stagnating. And the final sealed product we're going to take a look at today is the Obsidian Flames booster box. So it's just a booster box, comes with 36 packs of Obsidian Flames, pretty straightforward. So essentially we have June 12th, $130.52, and then ultimately trends downwards, where it looks like its low is likely here on August 28th at $92.28. And then, yeah, I mean, it does look like it dips down, $91.71 on November 20th. That's probably its low right there. And it looks like it's stagnating right now, probably at $102.33, which is certainly not bad. And yeah, I don't really necessarily see this booster box going up anytime soon, but at least not within the year, but it definitely could after the year. There's definitely potential for that to happen.
So that concludes our little data analysis for Obsidian Flames. We have our top 10 most valuable singles from the set, ranging all the way from the Pidgey Illustration Rare to the Charizard SIR, the Charizard EX SIR. There was some really nice cards in there for sure, but I mean, the most valuable doesn't go past $50. And usually by now, roughly a year later, I feel like that's a bit of a telltale sign that this set probably won't go as far as the other sets from Scarlet and Violet, like say Paldea Evolved, or Pokemon 151, or Twilight Masquerade's a little new, but say Temporal Forces, right? I think it's going to be a while for sure to really see movement on those singles, but I don't think those singles will be outrageously expensive within the future. That's just my opinion, but it is something to look out for. If the most expensive card is $50, there's nothing stopping anybody from buying that card right now, and then kind of just completing the set from there for their tastes. But you know, it is completely up to you. It's completely up to the collector of what you would like to pick up from the set, so that could influence things. Now, as for sealed product, we see here the booster box is no more than $102. Now would probably be a good time to pick it up, as it probably won't get too much lower if I had to guess. Now, in terms of its growth, it'd probably be one of the last, again, speculation, but one of the last Scarlet and Violet sealed products slash like booster boxes. One of the last sets to really go up in value. It most likely will, but will we have exponential growth like we've seen from, say, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Lost Origin of the Sword and Shield era? Probably not. I imagine it's more like Darkness Ablaze, literally, from the Sword and Shield era. More like, I don't know, Vivid Voltage, where, yeah, there's some really nice cards in it for sure. But, you know, it's just not extremely sought after by collectors compared to other sets within the era. So something to consider for sure. If I had to pick up anything from Obsidian Flames, I would probably pick up a booster box, but I might settle with a few booster bundles myself. I think booster bundles are underrated, and I think they will go far, but only time will actually tell on that. However, yeah, that's just my thoughts on this set. I'd love to know your thoughts down below on Obsidian Flames and its potential as an investment. Let me know down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.